Hoka Hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of June the 30th, 2023. What can the Alita Army do to help get a sequel, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Muskogee Creek, or Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and with me are Lee, or is Lee, pardon my bad English. Remember, I tell you guys I got bad English all the time, and nobody believes me. But Lee's from Fountain, Colorado. How's it going, Lee?
Not too bad.
Looks like we got X-Man 577 out there. Hello, X-Man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the, I guess in the. Oh, I don't want to share. I don't want to do that. I want to share a screen. We haven't been doing a lot of these streams lately since Maxie's kind of been out of pocket. So, we have to get used to things again, I guess. But anyway, there's the link. If anybody wants to jump on, you can, and we'll talk about this. We're going to talk about another topic too, other than just how to help us get a sequel, because that could go by pretty fast. So I guess, Lee, down there in Fountain, you guys been getting rain? We get a lot of rain up here in Denver.
We were getting a lot for a while, but it's mostly down to sprinkles and just dark clouds now.
Yeah. Yeah, life in the Rockies, I guess, during early summer and fall. I mean, spring, rather. So
Yep.
It is what it is. So I think Angelus is going to be with us. I'm not sure about him, though. I mean, I sent him a couple of messages. One in Discord and one in his Twitter DM. So we'll see. So we'll probably have a couple other folks join us here pretty soon. If you haven't done so, please fill out the Alita petition. And you can see there, I think we added something like 15 signatures over the past week. So it kind of fell off from what it was. I think one week we got nearly 200, I think. But you see, we're closing in on 180,000. That's a good thing. So if you haven't signed the petition yet, go and click on that link. It's in the description. And yes, the Creek didn't forget it this time. Click on that and sign the petition, and then that'll kind of get our numbers going back up, as they would say. And of course, if you haven't seen this, now I know Avatar Way of Water is out in Blu-ray because I've actually seen it. I didn't buy it yet, but I'm going to buy the Blu-ray. But it is an awesome, awesome movie. It's it's not as good as Alita Battle Angel, but it's pretty good, And it's certainly, the visual effects is really stunning. I mean, they're excellent. It's a movie that you would expect from James Cameron, but you can see it's at over $2.3 billion, and that is the third highest grossing movie of all time. So yeah, Disney, if you listen to James Cameron, you'll be making money. So there you have it. So any thoughts, Lee? Have you had a chance to see it yet, Lee? Or
sadly, no.
Yeah, what we'll have to do one day is we'd have to be a private party. We wouldn't be able to stream that. They would get yeeted in a heartbeat. So yeah. maybe one day we can get on, I guess we could get on we could get on StreamYard here, I guess, or we could even do Zoom, I guess, and play it. That'd be pretty cool after I buy the Blu-ray, that is. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to this topic, because there's a lot to cover here. And we kind of did this a few months ago. We talked about how the Alita Army we can support an Alita sequel. And we kind of went over this in great detail. I would say one of the things we got going for us now that we didn't have back then is we now have an Alita Army organization, or a company, as it were. And we've already done a couple of things. For certain, we've started we're going to get to that down in item number 8 down there. But yeah, we've started a fundraiser, the Alita Army Company. has started a fundraiser for Hero Arm, and the money also goes toward a sequel as well, for sure. And another thing we did, of course, was we flew that I guess that airplane. We flew it around Disney headquarters, just so. And of course, there were 2 or 3 videos that came out of that, just so Disney could see that we are still here. So. And we got a couple other things we're gonna do as an organization, and if anybody out there is interested in supporting our organization, you don't have to do it with money. This is strictly a non-money thing. Just shoot me a DM or put something in the chat or whatever, and we'll see what we can do about getting you in. So. But anyway, certainly, just like we've been doing, I guess, doing social media posts. And that's not limited to Twitter, by the way. I mean, certainly there's a pretty big presence for the Alita Army on Facebook. As a matter of fact, I think there's more Facebook Alita Army members than there are Twitter members, and it's quite huge. I have no way of estimating it, but I know there's one Facebook group there that's 16,000 people. So that's, and of course, a lot of those will be in several Facebook groups, but I think that's more than what we got on Twitter, I think. And we got a pretty significant presence too on Reddit. And I think there's something like 13,000 on Reddit. So, we got a pretty significant presence on social media. And then, of course, there is certainly Twitter. Twitter is certainly where most of the Alita Army, or a lot of it anyway, a lot of the, I guess, information and a lot of the, kind of throwing stuff at Disney, all that happens on Twitter mostly. Certainly, one of the things you can do, I don't know if anybody out there is certainly, I guess, adept at using video, editors and that sort of thing. You can do videos. And no video is too. You might think, well, I can't put together good videos. They're horrible. They would be horrible and all that stuff. You learn how to do it and put it on YouTube. And man, I know I watch them. I watch a lot of those. Let me get rid of that thing. Golly, I had my email up still. So I mean. Channel is out there. Channel, I think you can see this if you want to come on. There's the link. So, by all means, start playing with the videos. I mean, there's a plenty of free video editors out there that are reasonably good, and there's a lot of folks on YouTube that do Alita videos. So, by all means, just, try your hand at that. Another thing is, if you're an artist, certainly you want to write or rather draw, what you think Alita looks like, put your own impressions into it, post that on social media. A couple of good examples of couple of our artists certainly is KranberriJam. She's really good. I know I've actually purchased several commissions from her because she is really good, and certainly Mathau or Rotten she goes by 2 or 3 different names. There was another one, Virus UFO, or UFO Virus was one she was going by for a while, and she does really good work. And the Tapion 98 also does really good work. And those folks they're adept, but you don't have to draw perfect. If you just draw something about what you think Alita looks like, or you could draw her maybe fighting a villain or something like that, or interacting with Hugo or whatever you want to do, draw that thing and put it on Twitter, or put it on Facebook. It's just helps us keep Alita current. And I think one thing that I don't have up there that I meant to put on there and I forgot to do, but Lee can talk to this too, is that, if you're a writer, write a story, about Alita, and I'm right now reading one that Lee has written. Right now he's got, you got 28 chapters now finished, Lee? Is that what you would tell me pre-stream? Or
yeah, I need to probably go back and work on a few of them, but that's up to working on chapter 29 now, so it's getting close to done.
Well, it's almost like her whole life. Is she going to be a grandma in chapter 29?
Well, I've been doing about a chapter for each day that passes in the story, but at this point I've gotten it to about every week or so that's passing. So time is passing rather slowly within it, as you know, the characters do things and stuff develops that has to be dealt with.
Yeah, and we have just joining us was Charlie Smith from LA. How's it going, Charlie?
Fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect.
Okay. I've been
you
trying.
You got a new mic?
No change.
Oh, okay, because it sounds
I've been
great.
trying to get an answer on how much it would cost to advertise on a bus.
Yeah.
There's both Los Angeles Metro buses, which are much bigger, and then there's a much smaller Burbank bus. Both of them go right by Disney Studios. I talked to the operator twice for Burbank bus. She says the people are busy, but they got my message and they'll try to get back to me in a few days about how much to add. I've done web searches of other sites. I've seen things where some buses have like a $5,000 minimum to advertise. Others don't. Some require 4 weeks of advertising. Like if you put up on the outside of a bus a picture of like for a movie, they say 4 weeks, and it depends on how popular it's the demographics of the area. In other words, how many rich people, or if they're poor people, they charge a lower rate. It's how dense it is. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like TV networks, how popular a show is and how good she says it depends, but my guess is that Burbank might be 20% cheaper than the LA bus. And they also have, you can have a poster at a bus stop, like it's a 6-foot tall poster, which is much cheaper than on the bus. You might be able to get it like for $350 for a month at just one location. But sometimes they require a minimum, like 5 you know what I mean? So I'm guessing it might be anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000. I just can't tell yet.
Yeah. Is there a bus stop there near Disney headquarters?
Yeah, there's one right at the corner. It's not at the Alameda gate, but it's if you look, it's most of the Disney employees, my guess, who take the train would stop at that location, and they'd be riding the bus. My guess is a lot of them would see it and would know it. I mean, however, they tend to charge more. I mean, I'm guessing it might be $3,000 for a month, but sometimes it says they'll let you, if it's a slow period, they may allow you to do it for 1 week. I just don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, keep us up to date. Charlie's another Charlie and Lee both are in our Alita organization, so we're all kind of banging away at that, trying to get that sequel. So I've been seeing your DMs there on that, Charlie. So we'll see. The one thing we have to be cognizant, of course, is the amount of money.
Correct.
But it sounds like a great idea, though.
Okay. By the way, also sometimes there's like a 2 weeks, delay. In other words, if you wanted, they'd say, well, the earliest you could do it is 2 weeks to 3 weeks from. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
So anyway, have you got any developments? I mean.
Not really. I haven't heard or seen anything Alita related, in terms of the news. Now, Angelus would be able to tell us that better than I could, because he does that stuff for the radio.
To me, a big development is the fact that Rosa has been accepted into the Oscar Academy.
Yes. Yeah, that's big news right there.
I mean, that's saying she's being recognized as part of the elite actors. What do you call it? The royalty or the big shots?
Yeah, that's right. The creme de la creme, as they would say. Yeah. By the way, let me say hello and samos to Finn there in Switzerland, or Grußgott, whichever one you want to go with, Finn. So, of course, that Swiss German's a little different than the High German that I'm used to. So Finn probably will laugh about that when he sees how I pronounce some of these German words. But anyway, any way we can keep Alita current, that's kind of what that's what we are doing in our Alita organization. You know, we're not, the Alita organization doesn't own anything in terms of, we do not manage or control Radio Chaos. They do not manage or control this stream or any other stream. You know, I mean, Chaos Nova has a stream and we don't control that stream either. We are strictly here to serve the fandom and to try to keep Alita current so we get that sequel. That is our mission. You know, we don't, and that's it. You know, we don't own anything. I mean, we got a bank account. We got that. I guess we own that. But yeah, that's as far as it goes. We don't actually get into the operations of any of these YouTube channels or any of this good stuff. We don't do that. So anyway, Lee, you were talking about writing a story, writing your story. Tell us a little bit about how you started that. I mean, certainly, I don't know if you're a professional writer or not.
Oh, hell no.
What? So tell us what got you going on that. I mean, not many people that would be that's not a professional writer would undertake that thing. It's certainly a story that I'm enjoying as much as I am reading your story. You know, I mean, it is a really good story, and I chuckle at some of the scenes you have in there, you know, between Alita and Jason and Koyomi and these folks, you know. So kind of give us a little, how'd you get into this?
Well, after seeing the movie for the 5th time in the theater and then realizing I drained my bank account doing so, I took a break, stayed home one night, and I was watching some other movie, I guess, something like that. I was thinking about the Alita movie and Rose's stunning performance. And actually, I was watching a video. It was actually Enigma Seeker's video. I can't remember specifically which one it was, but I remember he showed some panels off the manga and made an offhand comment, something like, if you ended up in Alita's world, she's definitely the person you would want, guiding you through it, helping you survive. And that got me thinking, okay, well, eventually it got to where I was like, well, what if it were somebody like me with mental illness who's dealt with suicide? How would that work? And from there, it just kind of snowballed into this whole thing of like, okay, well, I started looking at, I suddenly got the bug in my head to, write a story, a fan fiction. So I looked up some fan fictions and was just like, okay, well, these aren't too bad. Maybe I can just write a dinky little fan fiction that might, get a few readers who might enjoy it. Maybe some fellow fans who are also into Alita. And then I actually started going a little bit more, I suppose, overboard because I started looking up videos of authors giving advice on how to write stories. And then from there, the first story I wrote was on WordPad, which was, holy shit, I think it was like 30 chapters, something like that. But it was all one long document. One big document. And I just went through and found some advice on how to, put a world together, what not to do in doing it. Try not to do a lot of huge info dumps, which I'm not sure how well I succeed. I think the first chapter has a bit of info dumping in it. But I tried to do it.
I find it useful. Reading your story, I mean, you got a lot of descriptive stuff in it, but I think that's useful because it kind of sets the.
Well, you want descriptive, from what I understand. Yeah, you want descriptive, but you don't want to do things like just a big, huge page of nothing but, how a car works or something.
Yeah, that's right.
So I tried not to do that. Also, how to put a little bit of conflict into the story, even if it's not combat related. Like for me, the conflict is supposed to be, at least, Jason fighting against his mental illness, which is ever worsening for a while, as he attempts to survive in a dystopian world that he is woefully underprepared for.
Yeah, you would be unprepared going, being jumped forward at 540 years into the future, that would be that'd be quite a shock, I think.
I mean, as he mentioned too, while they're sitting, well, you got to the point where they finally, find out the truth. About
Most of us would be unprepared 50 years to the future, jumped 50 years to the future.
True, yeah.
Judging by some of our...
how fast things change.
Yeah.
But there was that. How to write dialogue was another bit of advice I took. I mean, I also looked up advice on how to outline the story. And I actually tried to sit down and write an outline for the story. And I failed miserably. Because for some reason, the way my brain is wired, I couldn't write the outline without knowing what was going on in the story. So I had to write out the story to write out the outline so I could write out the story. So I just gave up on it. Yeah. Other people, they would probably be a little bit, more normal in how to do that. So, I mean, like Maxie was saying, though, he does a waypoint type system where he'll have specific events that he wants to have happen. And then he'll write in between, all the filler in between to connect each of the events to the story, which oddly enough is actually how I've been doing it. I have these specific events I want to see happen within the story. And then I just write through the dialogue and get the characters moved to each of the next waypoints within the story. But yeah, it was a lot of study. I learned a lot about how amputees deal with limb loss, the psychological effects of it, psychological effects of PTSD, what affects it, the psychological and even physiological effects living in a very almost hopeless and sort of poverty-stricken area.
Yeah.
Learned, sadly, we have a number of those in the U.S. today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But basically, I learned quite a bit about all these different things as I was just trying to, make sure that the story was relatable, somewhat believable in certain areas, and coherent.
Yeah, hold that thought just for a second, because I want to come back to that. But I want to welcome Channel Does Not Exist from Poland. How's it going, Channel?
Sorry, my mic was muted. It's going well. I think I missed the segment that... never mind.
Now we haven't.
That's my problem. I can just re-listen to it later.
Yeah, that's fine. No, but I mean, we just, when you come on, this is the very first slide of the topic right here. So you really haven't missed anything. We just kind of did a recap of, the how many signatures we got on the petition and how much money that Avatar 2 is made, and pretty much that's it. And I guess Charlie talked a little bit about some of the stuff we're wanting to do.
The writing advice was nice.
Alita. I'm sorry, Channel?
The writing advice.
Yes.
From Lee.
So.
Oh, that's actually not necessarily my advice. That's advice I got from other people.
Yeah, but if it's a lot of the advice you get from people is the advice they heard from someone else that they later proved that it works, so they pass it on.
Well, Lee, did your girlfriend help you with that? Any of that? How an amputee would deal with limb loss? Because she
did actually. I had a scene where Jason was actually just going to be sitting in the shower shortly after getting his the mounting points on the ends of his legs and the end of his arm. He was just going to be in the shower, and Gerhard was going to be there because nurses assist amputees with that kind of thing. Yeah. And I was going to have him, and he still new to the, I have no limbs sort of thing. So he's still learning.
Yeah.
I was just going to have him sitting on the floor of the shower, just having a shower, talking with Gerhard, who's helping him go through what he needs to do to, take care of himself now. But I learned some interesting things, like you do not ever sit on the floor of a shower if you are an amputee, or at least not a fairly recent amputee, because there's lots of germs on the floor of the shower.
Yeah, and they could get into the bloodstream, right?
Well, they can get into the sutures. Well, that's the thing with Jason. At least it was he had those speed healing drugs that he was taking to keep him to get him, in shape again after the surgeries.
Yeah.
But it was still, considering the short time span that had passed, it would still be, she convinced me it would still be something that would be a medical precaution. So he was on a plastic chair. So instead of being on the floor, now he's on a plastic chair in the shower. Instead of a one of those scrub brushes you might use in a shower or bath a bath. I learned that no, you use a washcloth, 3 specifically, 1 for the upper body, 1 for the middle body, 1 for the lower body.
Oh wow!
And you don't mix them.
That's
Wow. So
interesting.
Instead of a standard bathroom, washing brush, it became 3 washcloths. And same with the towels to dry off. 3 separate towels, 1 for the upper body, 1 for the middle body, 1 for the lower body.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I learned.
I know people who.
Oh, go ahead.
Most people I know don't use don't use sponges to bathe at all, or even washcloths. And I know a woman who uses the small towels that are usually meant for your face and hands to wipe absolutely everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Most normal people, they don't really think about it. But her being in the medical industry, she has dealt with some amputees. So she gave me some pointers on how to make it more realistic in the medical aspect of Jason and the clinic dealing with his amputations.
Yeah. Has she seen Alita Battle Angel, Lee?
She did. She's not as huge a fan as I am by any stretch, but she did enjoy it.
Oh, okay,
and she did actually help me with, at least initially, with because of her eyesight problem she has right now. She's got neurological, I wouldn't call them neurological damage. She has a damaged spine, and because of the way the spine press or the vertebrae press on her spine, excuse me, from the damage from various things, one of them being osteoporosis, as well as the cancer she went through.
Oh wow.
She has a problem with reading text. It causes the text to sort of swim, and it induces a heavy like tiredness. She falls asleep easy. So I would read it to her. And she would give me some feedback on, it's like at one point I had Alita going into play motorball. They're in the locker room. And it's like the second time Jason's been there, so he's a little more used to it. And he's, wishing her luck. And as far as she was concerned, and in retrospect, she was right, the dialogue was rather flat. To her, it sounded like a Hallmark card. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I change that? So then I switched it up a little bit, and it ended up, in her estimation, being much better. And I guess it was in other people's too. Got quite a few views on that chapter. And
have I gotten to that chapter yet?
I don't believe so. If you just got to the part where they found the area where Jason arrived through the anomaly.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was a big area, as you may have read.
Yes.
I mean, lots of.
Yep.
Yeah. Then no, you've got maybe 4, possibly 5 more chapters to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I remembered an Alita-related story. I know it's probably going to sound like I'm making light of Lee's girlfriend's problems, but they reminded me of that. I had this problem that because I have low blood pressure, my brain kind of decided that the least important part is apparently the visual nerve. So it kind of blocks, if there's low oxygen, it blocks the air gets blocked to that visual nerve. So I sometimes would briefly lose my vision.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I passed out at school, and one of my friends was super concerned because I hit my head and if I had brain damage. And I knew I was drawing a fan art of Eli, and I went home, and to prove him that no, I was fine, I finished that fan art of Eli and sent it to him. And it was it was a redraw of a scene with just colored, except it was that kind of suggestive scene where she's laying on the floor with blood all over her after Alita slashed her neck. And after I sent it, I remembered that the guy is asexual. And also kind of we hadn't read that part of the manga, I think, or at least didn't remember it, and he was kind of sensitive to this topic. So instead of convincing him that I was fine, it made him more worried about what the hell was wrong with my brain.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. Well, I know my own experience at writing, which most of my professional experience writing is developing course materials, and stuff like, because I used to teach in a university, and I also have taught professional professionals on the I guess the principles of the profession I was in, and I would design course material of that, and that was my limit to my experience of writing. But the way it worked for me was I really liked this character a lot, and I just kind of used my imagination, and just, I didn't do anything like you were saying, Lee, about writing an outline or like Maxie does with waypoints or anything. I just started writing.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's how a lot of people start.
Yeah. And it's not near. It's not as long
drawing.
as. Go ahead, Channel.
Same with drawing. Even if you have, I'm pretty sure other artists might have a different take, but even if you have a plan, you're not going to end up where you plan to end up.
That's right.
Once you actually draw it out.
Yeah, that's right. Well, as I was writing this story, things kind of changed, and it kind of, I had to adjust with it. It was kind of almost, in a way, it's like you're describing real life, isn't it? Very much, because, you start writing something down and you're trying to portray a scene, or you're trying to portray a certain situation or something like that. And then you get to thinking, well, is this the way this would really happen, or something like that,
Yeah.
And you start thinking like that, and it's almost like you're recalling something that's really happened almost, So,
yeah,
I mean,
kind of like
anyway,
you have to build a memory sort of, and then describe that memory to other people.
Yeah. Now, my story is not near as intricate as, say, Lee's or Maxie's, but it was enjoyable writing it, and I made some mistakes in it. I plan on re-releasing it because I had a little bit too much narration. My brother listened to it and he said, "Well, that's too much narration," So, but anyway, I'm gonna re-release that. And I think it'll, I think it'll be better.
I think the only part of narration is when it said the characters said, replied.
Yeah.
When
that's it.
That's the only problem. When there's 3 or more characters talking, you can't really avoid it. You can vary the verbs between them, but when it's just 2 characters back and forth, you don't really need to remind us who's talking.
Yeah, that's right.
Every time, just every.
Well, probably the first time they say something, you do want to say, like the first time Lou talked to Alita in my story, you'd want to say, Lou says or Lou asks, but after
you want to set up
the first
pattern for the
reader. And like every once in a while you have to remind them, but not every.
Yeah, that was something that actually I wrestled with too when I was first starting some of the conversations in my story. The first draft, I guess you could call it. I had that same thing going on. I'm looking at that like, that seems a little excessive there. When I read it, especially when I read it back to my girlfriend, she was like, that could be cut down a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was enjoyable putting that thing together, and I've already started writing the second part, of that story, So I mean, I haven't gotten very far into it because I've been doing some other stuff, but I've actually started the second part. So anyway, it's a lot of fun, So, but anyway, the word is here. Oh, go ahead, Chen.
No, you finish.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, what I was saying is that, if anybody out there rather wants to write stories, you remember it doesn't have to be perfect, because for one thing, life isn't perfect, is it? So, and it's about a character we really love a lot, and, we're going to read it. There's no doubt about that. We definitely will read it. So, what I'm looking forward to is the day that they get they get AI to the point where you can actually do videos. They're doing it now with art. Now, you know, art can be a little screwy at times. Like you can say, hey, Alita Battle Angel with large brown anime eyes, and it makes her eyes blue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it ignores you sometimes, you know, but, you know, I think it's getting better. Now, there are some sites, I don't think Midjourney does this or Lexica, but there are some sites where they've, you know, they kind of steal some artists', I guess, what would you call them, like the basis for their art or something like, because I saw a KranberriJam was put that in the post, I guess, in the DMs, you know, in the group chat, you know, or group DM rather. And that's a problem right there, because you don't want to steal other people's work, you know. But I think some of the more reputable sites, I don't think you'll have that problem, hopefully anyway. So anyway, the bottom line is, if you can write a story, even if it's just 2 pages, you know, write that thing and post it on social media, you know. I mean, we'll read it. There's no doubt about it. You know, we definitely will, you know.
Yeah.
And it just helps us keep Alita current, which is what we're really wanting here. We want to keep Alita current, you know. Any other thoughts about any of that?
The thing I have problem when I try to write is that how do you not repeat the characters' names constantly when there's action? And if you have one character, you can just repeat he, she, because it's obvious who we're talking about. If you have 2 characters of opposite gender, okay, you can repeat she, he. But if you have 3 or more characters, or you have 2 guys or 2 women in a room, and what do I say? The shorter one walked up to the door.
That's
angry brunette.
Well, one of the things I've done
with their names.
Yeah, one of the things I've found that if you only have 2 people talking, you can just simply have them say their words, because you can have like
but if you can have them talking, that works. But if they're both doing something, like there's an action, like for example, in a
then
fight
you're going
scene,
to have to identify the person taking the action.
Like if they're cleaning, if they're cleaning up somewhere, or if there's a fight scene, anything where 2 people are doing distinct actions, but that when they're switching, they could be either one.
It's probably going to be kind of unavoidable, I think.
One
of the things I did too is I read a lot of other novels as well, to get an idea of, you know, how those authors handled certain situations in the story. Which also helped as well, getting an idea of how it was laid out in a novel.
So anyway, write those stories if you can write it all. Write those stories. I mean, and then practice it if you want. You don't put it on social media. We will read it. Another thing go ahead.
I was going to say, one problem I've got now, though, is that since my girlfriend has gone back to work, and this was like, I think last year or year before, she's been back to work for a bit. I haven't had the chance to have her help me go through them. So which means that basically the only feedback I have to rely on now is what little I get from readership. And unfortunately, it's been next to nothing at this point.
Especially if they're a reader, if their readers like the Creek, it says, "Oh man, I'm really enjoying this story," and that's all you get.
Well, at least you're giving me something. You're telling me it's like, you know, I enjoyed it. I was entertaining. I mean, at least I'm getting that. I mean, a lot of other readers, it's like I'll see the readership, like with chapter 21 on fanfiction.net, where it shows, you know, the numbers for each chapter, how many views. It was about 120 or so on average up until chapter 21. Wow. Now it's down to about 20. And I have no idea why. Nobody will tell me.
I mean, some people kind of just scroll by when they see a fanfic too long, even if they like the premise.
Yeah, it's possible, But again, nobody's really saying a whole lot on it. So unfortunately, I'm kind of flying blind.
No one wants to admit to doing that.
That's right. Okay, another thing we can do is, I know Alex Lita does this a lot, is he puts photos of Hot Toys Alita in different situations. And some of it's really funny, a lot of it. He does a lot of it on Instagram, you know. So,
if you want funny with the lack of proof checking, with trash on Trash from Zalem, which I am a co-writer for, where both me and the other main person writing were Polish, and the main person who does the feedback is also Polish. So if the English there is questionable, you now know why.
Yeah,
this was
that's
Trash from Zalem.
Yeah, Trash from Zalem. That's the one with that I was last promoting. The one where Nova getting beaten up.
Wow.
Is that on
okay.
AO3?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the name of the account.
Ah.
And pretty much all the feedback there is done by Polish people. So that's if there's questionable English, that's probably why.
That's
now, is
okay.
that the
We'll
account name, Trash from Zalem?
That's the account name.
Okay, because I was looking for the story, and I.
No, that is not the name of the story. I'm pretty sure it was linked under a.
Oh, she fell off.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Bloody reveal and realization. Chaos could see ghosts. Kids play. Trash from Zalem's got a number of stories.
Oh, wow.
Huh. I'll have to take a look at that later.
Well, while we're waiting for Channel to come back, I guess you can do something like Alex Lita does. He puts photos of Hot Toys Alita on Instagram primarily, but I have seen him do it also on. Oh, there she is.
Sorry, I
he
got
lost
kicked.
You, Chen.
Yeah, I tried to log into. I tried to find the account on the same window. I had the StreamYard open.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
realize
see.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, me too. But anyway, Alex Lita did one that was kind of funny where, and I don't remember exactly the image, but I mean, she was the face, her look on Hot Toys Alita face is like she was manic, and it was almost like it's almost like fires coming out of her eyes, and she's, it's a red background, everything, and and then he had said something about that he had run out of chocolate or something, and I put a response on there, Alex, you better go get some chocolate right away, something like that, And he has some real funny posts like that. Like another one he had on here yesterday, I guess it was he's drinking coffee, and he has Hot Toys Alita just looking at him. And he says, "Why is she looking at me?" And I put a post on there and said, "Well, maybe she wants some coffee too," something like that. So he does that kind of stuff, and a lot of it's very humorous, Okay. So, but yeah, you can, and I know Vladi does a lot of photos of Hot Toys Alita. Now he doesn't do it like Alex Lita does. He does the more of the, I guess you would say, artistic stuff, and he's even gotten into doing AI with it and making her look like a queen or a princess or something like that, And I've used a lot of his photos, a lot of the shots he's taken of her, or he's I guess generated through AI, and put them in videos, and people really like that stuff, So as a matter of fact, I guess here. Who we got here? All right, Channel. I'm gonna put this Channel. You don't have any problem with me putting that in the public chat, do you?
Putting what?
That archive of our own, Trash from Zalem.
I mean, it's already linked in the description of another stream, so why would I have a problem with it?
Well, okay. Well, that's all right. Well, there it is, folks. If you want to go check it out, there it is, right there.
Shout out to What is Hidden.
What is hidden?
What is hidden? That's the woman we get the most feedback from.
Really? She's also commented on mine too. I think I accidentally scared her off though when we were talking about the last chapter. I hope I didn't, but
I sent the link to.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put that on there too then. This kind of stuff right here helps keep Alita current, which is what we want. Any way we can keep Alita current.
Brother, have you just one thing? Are you aware that so far, at at the end of today, if there's no contract, the actors go on strike.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's today. They have no contract. Tomorrow, if that happens, that's going to really shut down. I mean, the actors will be, in addition to the writers. So we're waiting to find out at midnight tonight if they come to an agreement.
And if they don't, the longer it goes, the more the theaters are going to be screaming.
Correct. Here's the thing. They also had something I didn't know. It said most of the studios canceled San Diego Comic-Con because they're afraid that the actors are going to go on strike tonight. And they figured without the actors at Comic-Con, they figured it's not going to be very successful because people want to see the actors there. You know what I mean? So they said if they don't, they may go back to comic. In other words, Disney may decide to uncancel their cancellation.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a group of us who are going to the Colorado Springs Comic-Con, which is not it's not as big, near as big as San Diego's, but they're going to have the woman that plays Elvira, you know, Mistress of the Dark or whatever. She's been around since the late 70s, I think. She's going to be at that Comic-Con. Now, I'm not sure she's doing any acting now, but it's going to be pretty cool, I think. You know, so there's going to be like 5 of us. I think Lee's going. We all have Alita Army shirts. You know, we'll be taking video and stuff like that. And I got to work with the organizers about the video. I mean, they may be a little persnickety about that. Persnickety. That's an English slang for those of you out there in other countries. That means they may be a little reticent or they may be a little disagreeable to doing that, you know, taking video. But
yeah, they may have a bit of a problem with it.
Yeah. So anyway, but we got Alita Army shirts, and we're going to go to that Comic-Con. And one of the things that I'm going to do on my to-do list is to contact the organizers of that Comic-Con and see can we get our names announced somehow. Maybe at the first plenary session or something like that. And it might be all we have to do is give them some money. You know, I mean, if it's like $500 or something like that, you know, we can give them the money and then they'll make an announcement or something like that. Or, you know, I think it's too late for us to be official sponsors because everything's already set up for that. But next year, I want to try to set up a booth at that Comic-Con. So, you know, we'll have, I'll probably have my I guess the Queen Studios statue there, and maybe my Hot Toys Alitas and stuff like that, you know, and then maybe a couple other display items. The thing you have to worry about at a booth, of course, is you want somebody at the booth all the time, because if you don't, you know, things can grow legs and walk away, you know, as they would say. So, you know, you got to be able to protect what you got in the booth. But anyway, that's our plan. Is we're going to participate in a Comic-Con, you know, and that's something else you can do. You know, I mean, if you're going to a Comic-Con, you can go to site like Teespring or TeePublic, one of those, and order or you can go to Amazon and get an Alita shirt, put it on, and go to the Comic-Con. If it's just that simple, that's, you know, do that, you know. So that's kind of what we're doing. There's going to be 5 of us. I may get 3 additional folks. You know, my brother and my 2 nephews might also go with us. You know, so if they do, I mean, I got to buy 3 more shirts. But you know, that'd be quite a contingent. Would to have 8 Alita Army, because I told them if you guys go, you're going to have to go as the Alita Army. You can't just go by yourself. You know, if you're going to go with us, you know, if I'm going to pay for it, you got to go as the Alita Army. You know, so anyway. Anything we can do to keep Alita, you know, in the public eye, you know, just that's kind of what we're all about here, you know.
Let me ask you, Creek, for Rosa's birthday, July 16th, that's, you know, about 16 days from now. Anything planned? Just a mass tweet?
Well, yeah, I think probably a mass tweet, plus I'll do a little bit of a birthday segment on this stream. And I think what is that day in July? That's
Sunday?
Going to be on a Sunday. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess on Friday and Saturday, I guess this stream of Radio Chaos will probably have a little bit of a Rosa happy birthday type thing going on there. Maybe a couple of slides or something like that, you know. So,
Isn't that Sunday?
yeah. So, yeah, I guess on Friday and Saturday, I guess this stream of Radio Chaos will probably have a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of a Rosa happy birthday type thing going on there. Maybe a couple of slides or something like that, you know. So,
Okay. By the way, another thing, Disney 100 had an announcement that they're re-releasing Disney classics to movie theaters. About 6 or 7 of them. In other words, the original Aladdin, the animated, is coming back in a re-release over the next few months. I mean, there's other ones. I think the original Little Mermaid is coming back as a re-release.
What about Fantasia? Is it coming back?
I don't know, but part of the reason was the demand by movie theaters that they don't have enough what they call quality content. What they mean is, can a movie pull in? Normally, they like to have it something like at least 1 million on a weekend. That's kind of the minimum. And some of the stuff they've got is like they're pulling in, 500,000, which isn't enough.
Yeah.
I kind of hope Poland would start releasing foreign children's and animated movies and generally children's movies without necessarily having them all dubbed. I know you kind of need the dubbed version, but come on, play the original version at some point. Like, some of us just want to watch the cute animations. We will be leaving a lot of money, and some children speak English well enough that they can absolutely laugh at the original.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Charlie, depending on how that the actors strike goes. Right. Depending on if they get a contract or not. If they don't get a contract, it might be a good idea for me to write a letter to Bob Iger and request nicely, because you don't want to piss people off. Just request nicely. That hey, we see that you're releasing some classic Disney features and stuff like that for the theaters. Please consider re-releasing Alita Battle Angel, or something like that. Just very nice, and tell them that, hey, I'm a big fan of Disney and stuff like that. So he knows that I'm not some kind of rabid fan. That's just kind of like I guess you'd say a revolutionary activist or something like that. So anyway, which we all are, I guess. But anyway. That would probably be a great thing to do, wouldn't it, to write that letter? I know I did write a letter one time to Chapek, and I didn't hear anything back, of course. Yeah. So that was a couple of years ago, I guess. 3 years ago, even. So, yeah. Okay, another thing you could do is buy and read the manga. And I guarantee you, if you start reading that manga, it's going to be hard for you to put it down. I mean, I've bought all of it. I bought Mars Chronicles, I bought the original manga, and I bought the Last Order. And each one of those reads slightly different. It's really nice, because I guess it shows how Kashiro is kind of changed over the years, I guess. And I mean, even the way Alita looks in the Last Order is different than she looks in the original manga. Not a whole lot different, but in a way,
the style seems to have altered a little bit, or evolved.
Yeah, that's right, and that could be because Alita's grown a little. Because toward the end of the Last Order, she's in her mid-30s. I mean, she's not a teenager like she is in the movie. So it's pretty cool. I mean, but buy the manga. It's really cool. If you haven't seen the anime, watch the anime. I mean, you can watch it on YouTube for nothing. There's you just type in Battle Angel Alita or something, and then type anime behind it in the search engine, and it'll pull it up for you. It's called Rusty Angel, and it's worth a watch. It's 90s
Rusty
anime.
Angel the first episode because it has 2 halves.
Yeah, it's got 2 halves. Yeah, that's right.
The other one's Years of an Angel or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like the first 2 episodes of what they had planned on being a series, but never quite got off the ground.
It's an hour altogether. It's not that long.
Yeah, well, but it is enjoyable though, and you'll recognize a lot of the parallels. when you watch that anime and you've seen the movie, obviously, and even if you read the first part of the manga, I guess the first. What is it? A couple of volumes or whatever it is, although the anime does not have Motorball in it, but you can still see the consistency between the two, and that's worth a watch, I think.
I'm
I've seen
curious how.
Go ahead. No,
how
you
many
go ahead.
people watched the movie and the anime, reached for the manga and spent the first 2 volumes going, wait, where's Shuren?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, I
right.
watched
Because
the anime and the movie before reading the manga, but I also spent a lot of time, an unnecessary amount of time on the Wikipedia, or like the fandom wiki. So at least I found out from there what to roughly expect.
yes.
Yeah.
Also, I accidentally opened on the wrong page where Alita dies, and it was just the end of the book. So I thought, oh, so did I start from the last book? Did Alita die for good?
Well, Alita dies
She
2
did
or
not.
3 times, I think, and then comes back. She seems to be able to have a knack for that somehow. You know, I think just about everybody here has read the manga, but we do know at the end of the original manga, you know, she gets blown up by.
It was a different death.
Oh, okay, it was different from that one. But Alita's either come close to death or been killed a couple of times, and she seems to come back. So, you know. So, you know, I guess that's our girl. You know, you can't keep her down. You know, even death can't keep her down. So, and then of course, you know, certainly you guys are doing this now. There's 4 of us on this stream, 7 out there, you know, in the chat. But you know, watch these streams. You know, and Radio Chaos and this stream certainly. You know, I mean, so I got them listed there, but there are other streams out there, you know, that now some folks don't stream as much as we do, but I know Chaos Nova does streams.
Yeah, I was going to mention Chaos Nova. He'll sometimes even stream the Martian Memory video game.
Yes, and that is extremely enjoyable. I really like that a lot. I mean, and he started playing the English version too, which now you can kind of tell what's going on, you know. But yeah, that's extremely enjoyable. But you know, there are other YouTubers out there that have done streams, you know, about Alita, and I can't recall. One was one interview that one of the guys did. I can't recall who it was. Did an interview with someone who claimed that they knew a little bit about the sequel, whether it was going to happen. As it turned out, of course, that person was, I think, just speculating like a lot of other folks do. But, you know, I think it was a media professional of sorts, you know. So anyway, but there's a lot that got off track there, I guess. But there's a lot of podcasts and streams going on out there that you can watch and enjoy. And if you type in Alita Battle Angel and, you know, put a couple other things, you know, in there for in the search engine, you know, you will see all kinds of stuff. I know we do this on the Radio Chaos stream every week. You know, we kind of list what's the most current Alita content, and even within a past week, there is tons of that stuff. I mean, it's literally just a bunch of it. You know, so people are doing Alita content. And it's current stuff. You know, some of them get real creative, you know, with it. There's a lot of shorts out there, you know, that about Alita. So, you know, you can kind of check that out, you know, and just type in Alita Battle Angel in the search engine itself, and then you know, and you'll you won't be able to list all of it. I mean, it'll just keep listing it and listing it and listing it, and you won't get through all of it. Even if you do just within the last week, you will literally get anywhere from 50 to 100 or more, you know, different uploads of Alita content on YouTube. I mean, it's just tons of it. Writing letters to Disney. That's one of the things that Creek is going to do after, you know, I guess, and I'm glad you brought that up, Charlie, because that means that's going to, I can hit that while the iron's hot, as they would say. Yeah. Especially if the actors if they can't get a contract signed, eventually, within a very short time, a month or whatever it is, theaters are going to start screaming, you know, because they're not going to have, they're not going to have content. They're not going to have any movies, you know. So we might, you know, I might write that to Disney, you know, or something like that. Now I know there was a suggestion, Charlie. I think you said maybe doing a mass tweet to some of the theater chains. We might try that too. You know, that might work because we did that before. Back in October of 2020, we did that, and there was like 3 different movie chains. You know, Cinemark was one, AMC was the other, Regal was the other. I think Regal went out of business, though. But those 3 chains, I think Regal went out of business before they did anything, but they committed to doing, you know, showing Alita again. Now that was during the pandemic, so there wasn't a whole lot of money in that thing. Because I know when I went to watch it that one time, I did that video on it. There was only 4 people in the movie because it was, you know, we were in the middle of COVID, you know, and nobody wanted to get out, you know. But I think now it'd be better. I think, you know, even if it made just $1 million, that'd be a big plus, I think.
Yes.
So, because I mean, making $1 million on a movie that's 4 years old, that would be pretty extraordinary. And I know Alita also, you know, has made a lot of money on Blu-rays, and you might say, well, a lot of movies make a lot of money on Blu-rays. Well, and that's true, but the difference here is the amount of money Alita is making for a 4-year-old movie. To me, that is extraordinary. You know, I mean, she's tracking in the top 20, I guess, maybe close to the top 10, and she's been doing this for like 3 years. I mean, she's, you know, they keep selling Alita Blu-rays. Yeah. You know, so there's some demand out there, I think. You know, if people are buying Blu-rays for 4 years, or whenever Alita came out on Blu-ray, and they continue to keep buying it, that tells me people want to see Alita. That's what it says to me, anyway. You know. And Charlie, I think you keep up with that, don't you? I know you do. You keep,
correct. It's right here. Let me look at the latest here. As of today, the 4K Alita at Amazon is number 164. You'd expect it to be something like number 1800 after 4 years, but it's selling much more than you would expect.
Yeah. And of course, we see on some streaming platforms, it makes it in the top 5.
Correct.
You know, I mean, that's unusual, you know, for that, you know, and it's in different countries, obviously, you know, but it's to me, it's highly unusual that a movie that's 4 years old is still as popular as it is. So, you know, I mean, I think the handwriting's on the wall there. If Disney would just, you know, acknowledge it, you know. So, but anyway, we're working on that one, you know. But I'm going to write that letter to Bob Iger, and he'll probably won't answer me. But you know, I'll write him a letter and, you know, just tell him, you know, that, hey, you know, we appreciate what Disney does and we love your content and stuff like that. But oh, by the way, you know, can you please re-release Alita Battle Angel? You know, and who knows? Maybe he'll say, yeah, well, let's give it a shot. You know, so.
Yeah, if nothing else, it couldn't hurt to try.
Yeah, the worst they can say is no. I mean, you know, that's not gonna, you know, stop us. I mean, we're still going to continue to advocate for a sequel, even if Disney won't re-release the movie. You know. And what was sad about the re-releasing of movies, I knew I was talking to a guy for one of the local small theater chains here in Colorado, and you know, they literally went out of business. I mean, you know, I mean, I guess they just weren't making enough money. I think COVID really hurt them, you know. They did play Avatar: Way of Water.
COVID did a massive amount of damage to a lot of businesses, so that wouldn't surprise me too much.
Yeah. But anyways, Elvis Cinemas, I don't know if did you have those down there, Lee, in Fountain? I'm not sure.
I couldn't tell you. I know that we have Tinseltown and Cinemark, and that's it. That's the ones I'm familiar with, I mean. Although there is also a dollar theater up by the Citadel Mall.
A dollar theater?
Yeah, it used to be. It's now up, I think, $1.50, $1.75 now. Yeah,
because the Elvis Cinemas used to be $1 back in the 90s, and I think they went up to $5. So that's still pretty good. And they played Avatar: Way of Water in there too, and then right after that they went out of business. So I guess they pulled in a little change there at the end, at least. So before I get to the campaigns, anything else? And we talked about the buses. You know, I think that's one of the things we're going to explore as soon as Charlie gets word back. Perhaps if it's not too expensive, we might seriously consider it. You know, it would really, really be cool to have an Alita kind of poster-like thing, or like they put on those plexiglass looking bus stops, you know, have Alita Battle Angel in there, and the employees that catch the bus would see it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of cool. Word would definitely get back up the chain, I guess, for that one, wouldn't it?
I think something would happen.
I think the bus would be very effective. I'm afraid it's going to be quite expensive, though. It's possible if it said that some bus, if they have a slow period, if they don't have a lot of, you know, for instance, if there's an actor strike tonight, where that kind of reduces the amount of fewer releases means fewer movie studios taking out bus ads. Okay, if it's slow, you know, like if it's an actor strike, it may be the bus rates may come down a bit because they don't have enough business. So we might be able to get. Normally, I get the impression they like to have it for 4 weeks. They may cut you a deal and say, okay, how about for 2 weeks for half the cost instead of $4,000, $2,000 for 2 weeks. But I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't have the data yet.
Yeah, well, when you get it, we'll chat about it. So, anything else you guys can think of here that to keep Alita current, that the average Alita Army person can do that would have an impact?
Other than every so often, if somebody comes up with, you know, one of those Twitter polls or something like that of, you know, popular movies that people like, you know, make sure to mention Alita. I mean, other than that, I can't think of anything.
I've mentioned this before, and that's this. If we could just get someone who's got a big fan base to promote Alita. And the only one I can think of is the guy named Mr. H Reviews on YouTube has done 3 videos on Alita saying he likes it. And one of the comments, he said this. He said, I like Alita, but part of me is afraid for Disney to do a sequel because I'm afraid they'll screw Alita up like they do everything else they touch. He says, I'm afraid they're going to make Alita very super woke and ruin the franchise. So he says, maybe it's best for James Cameron to just basically get it away from Disney. That was his concern.
Well, I think if 20th Century Studios did it, let James Cameron do it like he did Avatar, I think it would probably be all right, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
And now there's 2 camps, people who are scared that if Disney makes Alita, they'll make her too sterilized and too Disney princesses, and the other camp who thinks they'll make Alita way too woke and go in the opposite direction. So no one trusts Disney to do, and not no one, but 2 groups that absolutely do not trust Disney to handle Alita for opposite fears.
Yeah, faith in Disney at this point seems to be sorely lacking.
Who would be surprised?
Well, I wouldn't put that in the letter I'm going to write to Iger, though.
No, keep that out.
I want to make sure he's.
Yeah, you want to butter him up, not bash him.
Yeah, well, I like Disney movies. I mean, you know, for instance, the MCU movies. Yeah. I like watching them. Now, I will say that I think people are getting kind of tired of MCU movies. I mean, I think they're not doing as well as they did originally. You know, I mean, what have they made now? Like 30 odd movies, something like that.
Something like that.
And it's over the past 12 years we've seen this, and you know, it's almost 2 movies. That's more than 2 movies a year. I mean, that, you know, people have been bombarded, you know, so that kind of thing.
My big problem
Star
with
Wars.
My big problem with them has mainly been the live action remakes. It's like, why do a live action remake? Why not come up with a new story?
Because then we're not sure if people want to watch it so much. Like, they still do new stories.
Yeah, they're playing it way too safe.
And Kanto was absolutely amazing. The music was great in every translation that I could understand anything from. The animation was adorable, but when you do something new, it has to actually draw people in. When you rehash something old, you can hope that people either come to hate watch or to go for that nostalgia high with their kids.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're doing. They are going for the nostalgia on a lot of it, but you know, it's like Star Wars is another thing. I like Star Wars. You know, you remember? I don't know if you remember this or not, Lee, but back in the '80s, there was that Star Wars versus Star Trek crap. You know. Well,
I
Star
vaguely
Wars
remember a bit of that. Having been a fan
Yeah.
of both Star Trek and Star Wars, I was kind of I always shrugged and just said I enjoy both of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was too. Now I was in the Star Trek fandom back then, but you know, I would, as such as it was.
Yeah.
So, which I think I went to one Star Trek convention, I guess. But anyway, you know, I mean, it seems like it's, I don't know, that last Star Wars movie they did, I guess with, I guess it was, I guess Rey and
Rise of Skywalker.
and what? Yeah, Skywalker. That's right, the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, I enjoyed it. You know, I mean, it was somewhat entertaining, but you know, I thought, you know, wow, this is, you know, for me. Now, this is just me. You know, hey, this is kind of falling off a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, and maybe my expectations are too high because the first couple of maybe 3 movies were really great. You know, they were in the first 4 movies or so, and then it seemed like they started falling off. You know, a little bit, but you know, still good though. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I kind of think that Disney needs some new stuff. They keep rehashing the old stuff. I mean, I don't mean to say it's old, but they keep, you know, rebooting stuff. You know, they keep doing that.
Like I was saying, I think it's just they're playing it safe because their movies are flopping so badly. It seems like that they're getting really gun shy about trying anything new now.
Yeah. I guess these people don't know what a feasibility study is. So, you know,
Or if they do, they're ignoring them.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it seems to me, you know, if you want to try to experiment or try to figure out what some new content would be, why wouldn't you do some sort of feasibility study to see if there was try to determine whether there's a market, you know, for a different kind of movie, you know, I mean, but they seem to rely on what movies have done in the past and what movie can we do that's similar to that will get us the same kind of money, you know, and that, to me, I think the movie going public is a lot smarter than that, you know, for me anyway. That's what I think. So,
well, it might also be because of financial hardships people are going into these days.
Yes.
They're also a lot more discerning about what movies they're going to spend their money on.
Yeah. Plus,
so
streaming
if it looks like a reboot of a animated they've already seen, it's like, why should I spend money on it? I've already seen that story.
Well, I can wait till it comes out on the streaming service.
There's that
also
too.
Now, because both streaming services and DVDs are cheaper usually than movie tickets, it's only really worth going to the movie if it's going to be some kind of spectacular visual experience. Seeing something in a better quality really does make a difference. If a movie can be enjoyed just as well on a small screen, why should I pay twice as much to watch it on a big screen?
Yeah.
Well, I think Cameron could make Alita. You know, I certainly think Robert Rodriguez ought to direct it. But if Cameron has also a more participatory hand in it, I think they could make it a visual effects masterpiece, kind of like they did with Avatar: Way of Water. You know, and
well, considering how well they animated Alita and the other cyborgs in the first movie, I think that goes without saying. I mean, there's all kinds of really. Like call it over-the-top anime style battle scene that could be had in the next movies if they decide to make them.
Yeah,
they better decide to make them. Somebody better decide to make them.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else, guys, on this one before we get to the campaigns? I guess, or just really one campaign, I suppose.
I keep listening and thinking that, oh great, I'm gonna see Alita if any of this works, and I remember that those Bring Back Alita to theaters aren't international and they still wouldn't bring it to Poland. Generally,
well, surely they would.
Huh?
Well, surely you would see Alita in Poland if it was re-released, wouldn't you?
I mean, it might. I'm not sure if they release it in Polish or in English, because again, Poland has this weird problem. Adult movies aimed at adults will get released in the original language with subtitles, and those subtitles are kind of sometimes slightly off, but that's not a problem. But movies that are aimed at younger audiences get only released in the dubbed version, which I mean, it's stupid, because then you can't really watch the original in the theater. Like I went in Belgium, and then they just I watched Coco, I think, and there they just played the original with French and Netherlandish. What's the other language called? The one Belgian? No, not
Norwegian.
Yeah. By the way, I was
and subtitles in those two languages. And why can't in Poland they also play children's movies both in the translated version or the original just with Polish subtitles? Like, come on.
Yeah.
And could be they're dealing with some kind of whacked out legalities over there.
Could be.
Okay. The latest update on the actors' strike, it's from 30 minutes ago. It says they're still far apart, and they said they've got a list of 1,000 major actors have written saying, like it says Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, other big actors have signed saying they're ready to go on strike to themselves walk the pick. It said right now they're still deadlocked, but they're talking about they may extend the deadline if they see progress. But right now it's still up in the air.
Yeah. Hello, Chaos Nova from Mentor, Ohio.
Yep.
Chaos, I think you're muted. Yeah, we still can't. It looks like you're unmuted, but we still can't hear you. So.
I swear, if it kicks me out of the stream again the moment his mic starts working. Oh no, it kicked him from the stream.
He's going to try other devices.
Yeah, he's going to
I will try other devices. He writes in private chat.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep an eye on that actors' strike, because if you got the writers striking and the actors, it's going to get pretty dicey for the movies.
Yes.
For theaters here in a real near future, you know. So any other thoughts about these guys? Well, we've got this thing going, and the link is down in the description here. But you know, this is another way you can participate, because we're doing this for Hero Arm, but now this is publicity. But also, it was to help us get an Alita sequel, because we kind of figured about $2,000 of this, $2,000. That's American. I guess American slang for dollars, but you know, we figured $2,000 over the, I guess the Hero Arm cost to do for the plane and the I guess the cosplayer and the videographer and stuff like that. The plane was $1,100, and we had a little bit over that, you know, for the cosplayer and the videographer. So. But the rest of it's going to be, you know, for the Hero Arm. And what's good about this is if we're doing good things like this for disadvantaged people, then it's going to help. It's going to help us as a group, and people may pay more attention to us, and they, you know, eventually they're going to see, hey, we want this sequel, and we think that that's you know, something that's worthwhile in terms of. Not just helping somebody in need, but also you know, as a secondary, I guess, you know, objective is to get that Alita sequel. And that flying that plane around Disney headquarters, For sure, people in that building saw that plane. For sure, you know.
Are you sure about? Are you sure about that? I've wondered if anybody at Disney noticed it.
Well, I mean, you know, all you got to do is look out the window. And if somebody looked out the window, they'd
I
see
know
it,
that
you know.
There's about 100 actors writers that were strike, about 100 of them all around Disney. Okay, I know about a dozen of them were watching us, and we're looking up at the plane. So I know that, and some of the other striking writers did notice it. You know what I mean? But what?
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
But what I mean is, so I know that people on the ground did see it. Okay. However, I don't know if anybody inside Disney caught it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if they had a social media group, you know, they would know that we were tweeting it for sure, you know. So, you know, I don't know, you know, of course we put videos of it, you know, on at least my channel on Radio Chaos channel. And I think I sent a link to Chaos too.
You did. I just haven't done my own custom upload of it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was going to put some Gun of Martian Memory music in mind to make it different so it wouldn't be a copy of the original.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. Well, I didn't put on my copy, I didn't put any of the Junkie XL stuff because it's copyright, and I'm trying to stay away from uploading copyright material now, you know.
I'm going to do an experiment right now and see if they do copyright strikes on Gun of Martian Memory music.
Well, I've never received a copyright strike, but I have received copyright claims, and you know, I'm trying to stay away from that, you know.
Well, you know, do what you got to do. I'll try seeing how it works in terms of not being a 1-to-1 if I put video game music into the Alita Army video, and then I'll air it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I know the last time we did this bionic hand thing, we gave it to this young man, and he was it was really touching. You know, this guy, I know Vladi and Tilly Lockey, you know, were there live on it. I was kind of in the backstage on that. And then after stream, I came in, you know, but that little boy, you know, he was so happy with that hand. He told his mother he was never going to take it off. So it really made a mark on him, I think. You know, he was really appreciative of it, I think. So it was really nice, you know, seeing that happen. So, and that's positive publicity for us, you know. And I think anything we can do like that, you know, that will. I mean, people see Alita Army and they're going to say, well, what is this Alita Army? What is it? Because I know that's what I thought the first time I saw it. You know, what is this Alita Army? I saw this on Twitter, you know, and let's see what you got going here, Chaos. And it's refusing you. Okay, wow. I guess Lee's trying to donate to it and it's refusing him. So I don't know. We'll have to work on that, Lee, see what happens.
Well, it just went through.
But
I just, put another chat up there. It took a few tries.
Oh, okay. Oh, it did. Oh, I see. I didn't see the other one down there. Yeah. So here, Chaos says he's willing to help anybody edit video, you know, to kind of help with this whole effort of keeping Alita current. So, you know, I know I've seen a lot of Chaos's videos. They're pretty good, you know, so you do well to, you know, kind of get in touch with him, you know, if you're interested in doing video editing. And don't be scared by it. It's not as hard as you might think it is. I mean, I figured it out and I had no experience whatsoever. Well, that's not true. I did have some experience, but all right, I'll put this in the public chat, Chaos. So anyway, this is what that's Chaos's email address. So if you want to send him something, he'll help you with that. So like I say, the more people that are doing any kind of thing, not just video, art, writing stories, taking pictures of Hot Toys Alita, you know, I mean, kind of like Alex Lita and Vladi do. Okay, I'm gonna put that in there too, chaos. Yeah, because I think folks that are on the stream here can't do that unless they oh, I didn't put the I in there. Look at that.
Yeah,
Gary, you
it
dumbass.
works.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
readable.
It happens. I think people understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm willing to help edit things. I mean, I could even, I could do Google Chat if someone can just set a time with me if they want to talk about it, what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm willing to help too if anybody. I'm an amateur at this, but I mean, my videos have been improved over the past 3 years, I hope. So, but I'm willing to help too, and I use a free video editor. I don't use anything. I don't like to use Adobe Premiere or anything like that, or Vegas. I don't use that. I use top, what is it? What is the damn thing? OpenShot, I think is what it's called. So yeah, I use that. So I
also have some special effects tools you can use. Like I have a black hole special effect I finished making. So it's like it looks like a portal in the Avengers Infinity War. Kind of looks like it, but it's not exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used PowerPoint, animated, do some animated slides and then save them as MP4s and work that into videos. And that works out pretty good too. So, and I've had my brother help me from time to time because he is a professional videographer, so, he's looked at some of the stuff and gave me some pointers on some of that. So, okay, but if you can, donate, there's the website there. You can click on the link down in the description below the window you're seeing here. And no amount is too small. I mean, if you just want to donate $5, that's fine. I mean, remember, it's going to a good cause. It's, right now we got $2,000 in that thing. So, it's we got a little ways to go before we can get that hero arm for that some deserving individual, but we're getting there. So we maybe probably sometime later this year, early next year, we might be able to get that arm for folks. So anything else, guys?
I can't think
Any
of
other ways? Any other things we can do to help get an Alita sequel? Write Bob Iger a letter. Yeah. Disney's regular mail address is on the internet. I mean, it's you can put a postage stamp on it, write him a quick note, and let that happen. I mean, who knows? He might read it. Probably what happened, his administrative assistant would probably look at it first and said, he doesn't need to see this, maybe. Or, yeah, this is a good one. Maybe I give him this one, So I think what I'm going to do when I write Bob Iger, I'm going to have like an Alita Army letterhead, something like that.
I was going to say, Creek, if you do decide to buy Disney stock, mention that you're a Disney stockholder in the letter. That should impress him.
Yeah, I kind of was looking at the numbers, and I'm not sure it's a great investment right now. Even though the stock is down, it's down to around its 52-week low. But
wow.
I was kind of looking at that price to earnings ratio, and I went, oh, that's way too high. I mean, in other words, the price of the stock compared to its earnings, because they have been suffering big time on making money. I mean, they've, and that's kind of driven that number up. But I don't know, I might buy a few shares. I mean, I did have some shares last year, and I sold it when it was 112.
Yeah, but
I
mean,
bought it at 150.
If you're a shareholder,
I bought it at
that helps a lot if you do own shares.
Yeah. Well, I know I bought it at 115 and sold it at 112. So I got a little concerned about, you know, the numbers I was seeing. I said, I better get out of this before it gets too bad.
Well, it's at
You know,
89.
course,
It's at 89 right now.
Yeah, I know. So, but anyway, I think that I might do that, Charlie, you know, just a few shares anyway, you know, just so I have some cred with him, you know, so.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys, that you can think of?
I'm hoping A Million Miles Away should be coming out soon, and hopefully Rosa will be promoting it soon.
Yes. And hopefully she'll say something about Alita there, because she'll probably get a question about it.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, even Lana Condor is getting questions about it.
Yeah. And I know that she's going to be in an MCU movie. She's going to play this super villain called Diamondback.
Right.
And she's going to be in Captain America.
Even Norton complained. Even Norton complained in one interview that he was getting tired of people asking him constantly, "Oh, are you Nova? Or when's is Nova gonna be in the sequel? Oh, do the Nova face or something like that."
Okay, what do we got here? Let's see. Yep. Okay, Finn. Yep. I think we must try that as well. But yeah, I think, you know, one thing that might happen, I'm hoping it plays out this way anyway, that Rosa does a great job, which I know she will, with this character Diamondback.
Yeah.
And if that movie makes money for Disney, that might help push Bob Iger into the direction. Okay, she did a great job on Diamondback. We made money. Maybe we should give them a shot at Alita again, you know, or something like that. You know, now they're going to have to see some increase in their cash flow first, I think. But I think that would help, you know, because I mean, if she can play a super villain like that, and she did a great job on Alita, I think that's, you know, playing a kind of a science fiction character like that, then, or a fantasy character in the case of Diamondback, then I think that's going to be a big plus. Because I remember seeing, I guess it was a DM in one of the group DMs that said, Alita, Rosa being in Captain America 4 might spell doom for Alita. See, I don't see it that way. I think if she does a great job with that, I think it's going to give her more cred, you know, in terms of trying to convince Disney to go ahead with an Alita sequel. That's just my opinion. You know, I don't certainly have nothing to base that on, you know, so. Okay, guys, anything else y'all can think of?
I just want to say thank you because we have no shortage of short videos.
Oh, absolutely.
So thank you, everyone, even if you're not on the
Yes,
stream.
indeed. That's right. Those of you in the future that are watching this stream. Yes. Yeah, that's great. I love those shorts. You know, I play
our
several
only,
of
like,
them.
Again, it's the same thing. Our only thing is we're short on longer videos, like that are, you know, 5 to 10 minutes or longer. But I can help with that.
Yeah.
Help
Yeah.
create scenes for that when people are trying to edit something longer.
Yeah, I usually keep mine down to 3 minutes or less, but you know, I mean, I do have some longer videos on there for sure, you know, but most of my videos are 3 minutes or less. You know, I guess keeping people's attention span, I guess, was the primary thing, I guess.
But it's just the longer ones. I'm willing to help with that because I'm learning a little bit of how to do it better. But it's just the longer ones; those add hours. They add time when the short ones do. I mean, 1,000 views of a longer video that racks up more hours.
Yeah.
This stream is a good example of more hours per view.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know I've got, I guess on my YouTube channel within the past year, I've got like 1.4 million views. But in terms of hours, because I have mostly shorter videos, it's not, you know, I mean, certainly got a lot more than just 4,000 hours. But, you know, you would think with 1.4 million views, you'd get, you know, who knows how many hours, but it's not as high as you might think, you know, so. But you're right. I think longer videos, especially if you put one together that's interesting, that you hold their attention for a long time, that's going to play out a lot better, you know, I think, in terms of the amount of watch time anyway.
The trick is to have, you know, have it organized, have chapters in it so people can skip around in different parts of it.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I mean, I promise I'll do a more longer one about Battle Angel Alita, and I have a playlist. I'll share the link to the playlist of ones that I've done so far. But yeah, I have some longer half-hour ones. I think you guys have seen, you know, a few of them.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Charlie? I know you coming up with ideas. Anything comes off the top of your head here?
Like I said, I'm just waiting to find out if the actors go on strike tonight,
yeah.
or you know, and because that will have a big impact. I mean, but I'll let you know. I'm trying to get a response on the buses. Remember, there's different options. Probably the cheapest is just having some posters at a bus stop. That's cheaper than on a bus. Okay.
Yeah.
But even that is going to be, I'm guessing, at least $1,000 is my guess. But
well, $1,000. If it's $1,000, Charlie, I'll pay for it. That's not that big a deal. So,
but keep in mind, there's other options besides. There's little posters inside buses, but those people rarely notice them. I mean,
they don't.
They don't. But they're very cheap, but people don't notice them. So you can forget that.
Yeah.
In addition,
that's right.
There's other options. I think there's another one. The bus stop. You know,
like trains in the airport, or another one. You know, the ones that go from concourse to concourse. But they're like buses. You know, the little ones in the buses. Nobody notices them either. So.
Okay. They also point out, in addition to the side of the bus, it's cheaper at the end of the bus. There's a smaller at the very back of the bus, at the rear end. They have a smaller thing, which is a little bit cheaper. Do you know what I mean? That is a smaller, that people prefer not to go to the back of the bus because it's only the people driving behind the bus that see it. It does not. Yeah. Although some people at bus stops will notice it, but it's usually the sides of the bus that you want with the post.
That's right. I kind of like the idea of the bus stop itself, particularly if we put it right there where the employees for Disney actually catch the bus.
That thing at that stop right next to Disney, there are posters there. You'll see them. So that would be if you can get that location. I'm afraid that they say when you do that, you may have to pick several. Do you know what I mean?
We might pick that. Well, we might pick that one, and we might pick one near 20th Century Studios also.
Yeah, I mean, but I just don't know enough at this point.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see what you come up with for what they send you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, if the actors go on strike, I guess Disney's stock price will go down some more. Maybe I will buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like
I try to think about, 2007, but this isn't exactly 2007. No, 2007 did a great job of getting people interested in YouTube because there was another strike, a writer's strike then too. But I just don't see how that plays out now. I mean, it's obviously more complicated now because there's issues with ad revenue with YouTube and such. But I don't know. Maybe people would be interested in YouTube watching again in another opportunity, but I don't know.
Well, I remember a few years ago, somebody told me, I can't remember if it was on this stream or if it was on the Radio Chaos stream or whatever, that someone had said that Rosa does watch YouTube videos. And I don't know if she does now or not. So, but this was like 2 or 3 years ago. And for sure, she has seen some of our videos. She probably has, and I don't know if you...
I will also do some more excerpts because there were other parts. I haven't, I got distracted when YouTube partnered with me for my tutorial videos, but I could finish the other excerpts from the Lady Kayla Gridis interview, and I think that would be a good thing I could do with.
And keep this in mind: if there is an actor's strike, that means Rosa basically has to stop all acting. That means she has some free time on the weekends to do. In other words, she might be more agreeable to stop by and chat with the Alita Army. If you wrote a letter, if there's an actor's strike, you could say, if since Rosa has no work right now, could she stop by and offer her, say we'd pay $1,000 if she will. Her agent at that point might, you know what I mean? If she's got more free time.
Well, I can do. I know I've tried that in the past, Charlie, and I couldn't get past her agent.
But keep in mind, she's making big. I mean, I'm guessing she's getting probably over $1 million for that role in Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would think so.
So when she's getting millions, for her to spend a few hours with the Alita Army where it doesn't pay much, but if she can't work at all, if she sees that, she say, "Hey, they're gonna offer me $1,000." Her agent would not object that he's taking time where he gets usually 15% of whatever she's earning, but if she's earning nothing, he's not going to object to her spending her time. Do you know what I mean? So
I do know that Rosa Salazar does have a public figure account on Facebook. Now, usually those are legit. You never can tell on the internet though, but maybe send her a note there. Might work too. Probably
just to let you know, in the past when there were actors strike, they had a lot of free time. That means they were more willing to do other stuff. So if there is a strike, you might be able to get Rosa, who's got nothing to do, to talk to us.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't want an actor's strike. That's going to be bad for everybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think so too. Yeah. But like I'm saying, if they do have one, I might watch that stock price. See how that comes out.
Try the Facebook or write a letter to her agent. Say, since she's out of work right now, we'll offer to pay her $1,000 if he might actually, she might read that and say, what the heck?
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway,
I'm just telling you, if you get Rosa to talk to us, that would have a big effect. And I guess what I mean is, I think she might do it.
Yeah, we've tried several times to get Rosa, but we can certainly try again. There's nothing that says that the worst that can happen is she says no, which I think she really likes us though. I don't think she's going to just summarily say, oh, they're just fans, because I think, she gave us a shout out.
Yeah. From Alita Brazil was talking about how, from what she read, she said Rosa left Instagram because somebody did some really nasty posts that really upset her. She got tired of it, and she's like, it really. I'll be honest. Sometimes I get teed off when people, do nasty posts. You know what I mean? It makes me want to get into an art. You know what I mean? I thought, wait a second, let's not. Why argue with a fool? You know what I mean?
My opinion of those posts is I see that on Twitter. I just say kiss my ass and I move on. I don't even think about it.
Some of the nasty things people have said about Alita Battle Angel makes me want to, but I thought, nah, don't take it personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember a guy named Generation X Strikes Back on YouTube.
Yes.
On his phone, he said, Alita Army, you've only got 200 people. You're wasting your time. He says it's been 2 years. You guys can't do squat. You did this mass tweet. And you only got 8,000 tweets. Give it up. It's not going to happen. And you guys are basically weak and ineffective. And he's I'm giving up because Alita Army is dead. It's not going to happen. And that really, I thought, nah, leave him alone.
Yeah, I don't care. He can say what it's his opinion. So,
well, he does have a point, but I think he's misinterpreting it.
Well, I think we have more than 200 people too. If you go on Reddit and Facebook, there's way more than 200 people.
Yeah. I understand his point. Do you know what I mean? That for instance, it bothered me when the Alita banner that we only got about 2,000 tweets that day, and that bothered.
Well, that was about an hour and a half, though, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah. But I see his point. If Alita were really popular, we should have gotten 20,000 that day or 30. You know what I mean? And I just think it's hard. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to let somebody's opinion shape what I want. This is what I want. I want a goddamn sequel, and I'm going to keep doing this until I get it. That's just the way I feel about it. Okay, Finn has an idea. He said, "What can we make like a Alita fan video? How would we see? How would we see about a sequel? What?"
Well,
I guess
Finn, what it helps do is it helps there be a volume of visible media on a topic. I mean, it's, you know, the more people see on a specific topic, the more interesting it could be. Now, what happened was those people who had things about Battle Angel Alita in general before the film happened, they blew up after the film came. And and part of what we were trying to do is just, you know, put things out. You know, you can do something very little, like an easy short, or I can help make a longer form video. Because when you're doing it on your own, it can take a long time to do an organized half-hour video.
Yeah, I know Dan, when he was doing a lot of videos, he would collaborate with oh gosh, I can't remember who he's collaborated with a couple of guys. Actually, he and I were going to
Giant Nice Day? Was it Giant Nice Day?
No, I don't think he ever collaborated with Jaya, but I think I can't remember the name of the individual.
He did a lot of things that, you know, inspired us to try more. He got busy with his work.
That's right.
He's been wanting to. He's told me a couple times in the last year before work got really tough on him that he wanted to do something that you know, he wanted to talk about characters, like including like Akira, what's his name, Tetsuo, and how him and Destiny Nova's kid Chaos from Battle Angel Alita are almost the same character. It sounded interesting, but he's got work to do. I mean, it'd be cool if he did. And he's been I've been other anime too.
I know I've invited him to streams here, but you're right, he is extremely busy. You know, I remember one time he responded to me, he said I'll come on if I get home in time, and he didn't make it home, so I guess he's kind of under it, you know, a little bit. Finn, I think the Snyder Cut is larger than us. I don't think they're an order of magnitude larger, but
I mean, part of the Snyder Cut was just timing. They wanted something. That's streaming. Right. You want something that's exclusive to streaming, because if people can just go get it in theaters, then it takes away the novelty of what you're offering in streaming. So they jumped on the Snyder Cut because Snyder Cut was something they could do specific for HBO Max.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
But as of now, streaming is very saturated.
Yep. I think Alita's on Hulu, isn't she? Is she back on there? I know I tried.
It has been. I have a hard time because I own the digital on Amazon plus the DVD, so I can't really tell you.
Yeah. But I think she is on Hulu now. At least I think she was. I mean, I tried here about 8 months ago or 6 or 8 months ago to get see if Alita was on there, and it said this she was listed on there, but it said this movie is not available yet or something like that. But it did come on in May, I think, is when it came back on. So I'm not sure how if it's still on or not. So
yeah, I don't know. For me, I just got the digital on Amazon so I can watch it anytime. It doesn't have to be on.
Well, I can say one thing about what I guess what that one guy said. He only got 200 people. That kind of flies in the face of that right there. We had more than
that
200
was also
people.
That was also when I only had 100 back then, and it's different now. It's more
that's right.
10 times that.
Well, I mean, the fact that we've got nearly 180,000 signatures. I mean, now granted, they're not all hardcore Alita Army types like us, but they're all fans. You know?
Well, there are too, and it just depends on people finding topics. But all I'm going to say is that if there's strikes going on, it's an opportunity to maybe have people come across something. It could be a time where we could all try and I'd be willing to help edit out, videos. I could help with if someone wants to make a longer video, and it shouldn't be too hard to make a short.
Yeah.
We want quantity now.
Yes. Okay, so anybody got anything else? I am going to take your advice, though, Charlie. I'm going to kind of keep watching that stock price, and if I get a few shares of it anyway, then I can write that down, introduce myself certainly as I'm a shareholder, and then go from there.
I mean, as a shareholder, don't you have the right at the investor day meetings to bring up issues where they consider them, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I used to get email when back last year, I'd get emails, about that, about voting and stuff like that. So
you can say, what is the status of an Alita sequel? I mean, you could say, we want one. Could you please at least, the guy who's running the thing might forward it to Iger. He'd probably just pass over it, but I mean, he might say something like, well, I'm discussing this with James Cameron and it's being considered. He might, but probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got cut.
Well, was that. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I guess it was that one.
I might sign off.
Channel. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, Channel.
Happy to. It's just too late.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome on anytime.
Yeah, take care.
See you later,
Back
Channel.
tomorrow.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, anyway, I guess there was that rumor that Iger and Cameron, where Iger said, if you want to lead a sequel, you got to direct it or something like that. And I have a hard time believing that. With as much as Cameron's got on his plate right now, if you look at his IMDb page, he has got a ton on his plate. A lot of stuff in development, 2 or 3 things in filming, he's got something in post-production, got a couple in post-production, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, he's got a lot going on right now. So I can't believe Iger would say something like that to him, knowing how busy he is. So who knows? Though, I don't know. All right, guys. I guess any other topics y'all want to talk about?
Well, I mean, if you could just, before Rosa's birthday, you like the next talk about what to tweet on her birthday, just happy birthday, or just to Disney, or is it anything in particular for her birthday?
Well, probably what I would think. Now, we haven't had a chance to, kind of formulate what we want to do for any kind of mass tweet or any kind of social media post, but I would think that what we would want to do is do something like say happy birthday to Rosa, but also tag Disney on it and put a hashtag on it like Rosa Salazar or something like that, and that would probably, if we excuse me, if we do this far enough in advance, and we've got almost 3 weeks now to do this, or almost 3 weeks, then I think, at this point, we could get, enough preparation for it where that a mass tweet, for instance, would trend.
Yeah.
But we'd only be able to use one hashtag, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think if we used Rosa Salazar instead of Alita sequel on that one, would probably be the best, I think.
Okay. I mean, say it's only 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks.
Yeah, a little over 2 weeks. Well, yeah, just a little over 2 weeks.
Planning soon what to do.
Well, maybe we ought to have another Zoom call about that, and then maybe next week. Let's see, we need to do something before next week.
Yeah. I'm going to be
want to do something. Yeah, maybe Monday or Tuesday we ought to.
Scripting writing for a while, so I'm going to be off doing that, and I'm going to be going to visit my parents because my sister's coming from California, and we don't see her that often, so I'm going to be seeing her then.
Okay, but by the way, just to let you go, I got some message from Twitter saying I'm suspected of being a spammer, and I'm on 3-day probation. Did you get one of those?
I've been in Twitter. I've been in Twitter jail twice. That's back when I used to do a lot of political tweets, and I got to call some of these politicians dumbasses, and they put me in Twitter jail twice.
That happened.
So,
that happened 3 days ago. They set you in. Basically, you're in Twitter. I didn't do anything. Do you know what I mean? And
well, people bait you, and it happens. I also remember Creek said, "Chaos, don't do it. You're gonna get in trouble." I didn't believe him twice. They said, "All right."
Until he did it.
Creek was right.
I may be banned from Twitter and kicked off. And
well, they're not going to kick you off forever. What they'll do is they'll kick you off for 1 day, is what it normally is.
You just don't log in for 24 hours, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Don't try to log in, or resets the clock.
Okay, on that day, I saw it was trending Twitter jail. It said apparently something like 60,000 people got that notice that day.
Whoa, that's a good idea, Finn. We could send Rosa an Alita Army shirt.
Oh,
that's a good idea, Finn. Oh man.
All right, then, Finn, I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, get one from Teespring. And the 5 I got were from a friend of mine that works up here in Denver in the mall. He does T-shirts, so I got him to do 5 of them.
Quick question.
Yeah,
should we make the T-shirt a motorball color scheme or a berserker body color scheme?
How about we do the purple like the manga motorball?
Yeah.
And the movie also has the purple with the silver highlights on it.
Well, I do know that I did a purple one, when Kraken did that one, she did that piece, one art piece for me with Alita doing the deadlift. Mm-hmm. And it had she did her in the purple, in the purple berserker body, and I put it on a purple T-shirt, and boy, did it turn out good, So, so yeah, we could do something like that, maybe a motorball one, perhaps. Of course, we've been trying to give Rosa a bust for 3 years or more. And
what is taking so long on that? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. Tony's work, Star of Alien's working that one, so I know he's tried. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, is it a company that's putting it together for him, or?
Yeah, he bought it from Prime One, I think, is the studio. So,
and I guess they're still working on it.
I'm not sure what it is. I know he's paid over $1,000 for a deposit because of the money we do have in the Alita organization bank account. 3,000 of it is for the bust. So we've got a little bit of money in that account, but it's a lot of it's for the bust. So so anyway, but an Alita Army T-shirt would be great if we could get it to her,
Berserker body and motorball style.
Yeah. I mean, I have an IMDb page myself, and I know how to get Rose's agent's address. So for something like a T-shirt, we just get the T-shirt and send it to them. Say, hey, this is for Rosa. Please give it to her.
That's the thing. When I was sending a quick little card just to say, you were great in the movie. I was looking up what they usually look for in the agents, or the agency, talent agency that she's working through, whatever the case may be. They'll usually open up the package ahead of time and look it over before they give it to the celebrity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because you don't know what people be sending her,
Oh, yeah.
So that's only prudent, I think.
But yeah, I'm thinking it should be easy enough. It's like they open it up, they see T-shirts, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, let me
send it on. Unlike you offered, thousands of dollars to have her come on just for a few minutes and talk with us, and it's like they didn't even want to talk to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go look at the. I just want to look at. Now I'm not going to put this up on the screen, but I just want to see what her. Yeah, there's her. Yeah, there's her APA agency Agency for the Performing Arts, and there you got an address. So you know that, hey, let's just get a t-shirt. I'll order one. I'm going to order one from Teespring. It's going to be purple, and it'll have the motorball theme on it, and have a little Alita Army thing on it, maybe. And send it to this agency and say, hey, please give this to Rosa.
Well, like Finn was suggesting too, have another one that's in the Berserker body colors as well. You know,
Well, that's what I was saying. Have the Berserker, have the Berserker body. I might have said motorball. I meant Berserker.
Well, Berserker body and
body.
motorball colors. You know, send her two.
Well, let's see. The motorball body did have purple on it, and so did the Berserker body. So you get the purple shirt, and then have
maybe have the Berserker one look like the top of the black bodysuit she wears, with like the sort of grayish silver and purple on the sleeves, or towards the shoulder and sleeve.
Well, I think anything we send her, she'll appreciate.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she gives us shout outs. You know, I mean, she gave us a really nice shout out at the WonderCon, you know, earlier this year.
True.
So I think she would appreciate it. You know, I mean, I can get her size pretty much, you know, by you can look up the credentials on the personal credentials, and that, you know, it gives a height and weight and stuff like that, you know, so. Okay, well, anyway, any other topics, you guys?
No.
Well, I guess we're going to have another Zoom meeting next week then, probably, just to try to get this tweet thing going, you know, mass tweet thing. So
I'll have my thing. I've been putting off doing the fan film thing, and I do feel that and other bigger things that I'm willing to help with, if people tell me should happen.
Okay.
Just so people know that stuff about Battle Angel Alita as a topic is out there. If no one cares about the topic, no one's going to want to see a movie.
Yes.
That was the biggest problem the movie had, was that hardly anyone knew what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known about it since, say, 2007, but I'm obviously an exception.
Okay. I guess this is what you were talking about on the left there, right, Lee?
On the left,
the black suit
with the have like from the neck down to the waist be sort of the black of the bodysuit, with the silver and purple on the shoulders and sleeve. At least that was an idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we could chat about that. You know, I mean, any T-shirt we give her, it says the Alita Army on it, I think she's going to appreciate it. I think.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just send it to the agency and hell with them. Yep. That's what I'll do. I'll put my telephone number and my address on it, you know, on the note inside. And if you guys got any questions, contact me. Yep. Otherwise, you know, KMA. So, all right, guys, did we miss anything?
I mean, I can't think of anything.
Well, okay. My thing is, I'm going to finish scripting for that fan film script, because I've been sidetracked about it, and I feel that it would help. And it could involve us if I actually read it. You know, we could all put our voices into it somehow.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. That's a great idea.
It's about the Last Order, the end of Volume 2 of Last Order, but I think it could be cool.
Yeah. Finn, we're going to have a live stream next weekend. We're going to have a live stream every weekend except for August the 4th, because I'm on August the 5th. I've got bench press national championships I'm going to. So, Alita Army Agency. Well, we eventually are going to make it an LLC. Right now, it's just a DBA. So, doing business as. So it's. All right, guys. I guess here's our queen right here, Rosa, and You know, she's #1 in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor. You know, she is super, and I'm really pleased that she's going to be in that MCU movie as Diamondback. That she is going to knock that out of the park. I'm telling you, and I think it's going to help. I really do. You know, and of course, as I like to say every week, it sure don't hurt that she's pretty. You know, and of course, our other 2 girls here, they're not girls; these are women. You know, all accomplished actors. Elle Lamont and Jessie Fisher. You know, they brought Screwhead to life, and we want them in the sequel.
Fisher, a stunt woman too?
Yes, she's a stunt woman. Yeah, okay. She was Elle's stunt woman, I guess. You know, for some of the shots, I guess. So yeah, but both of those ladies did a great job on Screwhead, you know. So we really want them back in the sequel as well, you know. So all 3 of these ladies are the Creeks celebrity crushes. So you know, we'll leave it at that. So, but anyway, yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt, you know, that they are all really good. I know Elle. I also saw Elle in Salvage Marines, and I enjoyed that too. You know, that was pretty good. You know, and she's been in other stuff as well, like I think From Dusk Till Dawn, the series, and that kind of thing. She plays a vampire in that thing, I think. So, but anyway, yeah, all 3 of these ladies are great. Did a great job on Alita, and we want them all to come back for sure. And I guess, well, Angelus didn't make it today, but tomorrow on Radio Chaos, we're going to talk about Shirin, Screwhead, and Koyomi. You know, about them possibly being in the sequel and, you know, what they're going to do and stuff like that. I
believe I should share some news because I believe the actress for Koyomi is voicing a new animated film, Teenage Kraken.
Oh, you mentioned that,
right.
I think.
Yeah, that's right. Lana Condor is going to be doing that. That's right. So yeah, Chaos. I'll shoot you a link, you know, to the stream because I'm the stream manager tomorrow.
Thank you. I'll keep my eyes open.
Yeah, I'll put it in your Twitter DMs. So, but anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about all 3 of them, and of course, Screwhead. That's going to be certainly Elle Lamont and Jessie Fisher. You know, and of course. Yeah, the Creek really likes, you know, Jennifer Connelly as well, and Lana Condor. I mean, they're all, you know, they're all pretty. I mean, what can I say? And they're great actors. So, you know, it's going to be kind of neat seeing them all in the sequel, you know. So, yeah, that's going to be real cool. Okay, so anyway, why is this image here? Well, that image is there because I like it and I'm running the stream. So, you know, that's why the image is there. And to paraphrase Grishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us in the Alita Army are only here for our girl. All 178,000 of us. Do you hear that, Generation X? all of us are only here for our girl. So anyway, I guess that brings us down to the last thing here, and that's going to be the call to action. And unless you guys got any last words, any of you got anything you want to say at the very end here?
I have my assignments. I have what I'm willing to do to help someone make a long video. All right.
Yeah. Take Chaos up on it, guys. So there you have it. Okay. On my count of 3, we'll do the call of action. 1, 2, 3.
Film those sequels, baby.
Sequels, baby. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos and next week on the Alita Livestream. Thanks and good night.
Take care, everybody.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita Livestream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.